Hi folks, welcome back. Today I wanted, I'm not doing a big update on my Jerusalem artichokes, my little bed here. All this pretty little green and red. Everywhere I've got red, that means it's come up. I have to look at the sticks. Right now I've only got four left. Four Jerusalem artichokes left to pop their heads up out of the ground. I'll just give you a quick look there. Even if those don't come up, and I think that they will, just give them another day or two. This is going to fill up to overflow just about. Every bit of this is going to be covered up with tubers in the fall. And of course my strawberries and everything. But what I wanted to make this video today was to give you a little bit more of an idea of what area that I'm working with on my property here and what it looks like. Now I'm just like y'all, okay? I don't have the high dollar budget. I've got a small place here, very small place, and it looks rough. I keep telling that, and I want you to understand, if I can do this, you can do it. I'm in that over 50 club, and I've got things that are slowing me down. They don't stop me, but by George, it does slow me down. When I dug out my catfish pond here, that was before. And I was out here like an armadillo. I moved so much dirt, by hand and shovel, and that wonderful little wagon right there. That's But anyhow, it's all hand work here, and it ain't the engine ain't stopped, but it's slowed down. Anyhow, enough of that. Just to give you an idea, just normal guy here with normal folks' problems. Trying to do something here, but right up through here, I've already made this video once and somebody was mowing grass. I had to redo this again. I'm gonna widen this out. This hole here, this hole right here is going to be widened out almost up to here, almost up to my beds. And I'll show you why I do that later on whenever I get that done. But what I'm going to wind up doing is, there's an old saying, stealing from Peter to pay Paul. I know that I'm taking out a lot of this area here still. And I'm going to take that topsoil and the soil that I work from there and move it over as I go. As I take over territory in the ground here, I'm going to be, using more of that soil and getting rid of the roots and everything like I did yesterday as I move along. So it'll be a progress. It'll just progress, right through here. So you got a little bit more of a lay of the land here, and it's on a slope. And my whole property is sloped. I've got the field lines over part of it, and I'm gonna be employing some different things there over those field lines. I won't be putting any trees in there, But so many people have a sloped property. And the thing is, they say, well, I can't garden on that. It's a slope. Yes, you can garden on it. If you need to, you certainly can. I don't need to, there is a grocery store, but it's always my goal to grow my own food for me and my family. So yes, for me, there's a need there. I want to take care of my kids, even though they're grown. My kids, my family, people that matter to me, myself. So there is a need. I value that food security right here on my own property. And so I'm gardening on a slope, terracing it off in different layers. What that's going to do, when you build these, you want to follow the contour line, okay? This, I think you've seen enough of this to know now. My contour line goes around through there. It's higher up here and it comes down here. So I'm going to follow the contour line just like on a map. And what that's going to let me do is, when it rains, that rain is going to have to stop. It's going to have to slow down. And it's going to fall into each of these beds. It's going to have to step over it one at a time. It's going to fall down and down and down. It's going to soak into the soil that's on top and into the wood, making that its own private little water source right there, and break all that down, and it becomes soil. But the main thing is it slows down the water, and in most situations, that's what you want to do. You see where I've got my mulberry tree planted here, okay? Sorry for the focusing issues. There's a lot I don't know yet. That's going to be up higher. I'll bring that up. What I'm doing here is I brought over some rocks that's going to hold that terrace in place, and they won't be very high. Each one will just be a small step, and it'll be leveled off. And then some of the roots there, step over here, you can see some of the roots. This all came from that little hole. This one here is a root off of this stump, but there's many roots up under there. And I'm going to be digging in and removing those roots as I go along, replacing the wood down. What I'd like to have is a chance for my place to have the hugelkultur effect across all of it as I can. You know, that's the goal. It's pretty hefty goal, but you take things one step at a time, one day at a time, and you can do that. It's like eating an elephant. You can only eat one little bite at a time, but if you're determined, you can. So anyhow, it's going to come up, follow the contour. It's going to slow down the water, make the water stop. Now, when I first moved here, there was a terrible problem with my downhill neighbors and rain. For years, they would get flooded out with the rains. And what I was determined to do is to help them out, and I did that. By putting in the hugel beds that I already have, and the way that I made sure that the water, flowed where I want it to, it almost totally eliminated the flooding issues that my downhill neighbor has. And I think that's something that we forget about so many times. It's just trying to help out each other, And so I'm growing food for myself. I'm redesigning my place into a place to feed my family and my neighbors, people I care about. And at the same time, that's using nature in that way is stopping them from being flooded out every time we have a big storm. And we have those big storms coming up. It was supposed to be today. They've moved it now till Sunday. So it's kind of messed me up a little bit. I thought it was going to be storming, but we still have the frost after that. These springs, spring and fall, our weather is getting very unpredictable nowadays all over the world. And I'm taking that into effect with how I do my gardening. I'm very cautious about what I do and what I put in the ground because I don't want to lose it. So, and I'd encourage y'all to do that too. We're not in the same game as we used to be, I don't think. Everything's so unpredictable. But here goes the rudeness. Loud traffic here. But I wanted to bring that to y'all, and I'll probably cut it off here. It's just about gardening on a slope. Everywhere humans are on this earth, if they can grow something green, you can. They have. On mountainsides, on the sides of volcanoes. I know that most of you have seen the terraced gardens all across the world, whether it's down in South America or maybe in Indonesia. Many places, deserts all over the place. They're doing something. Even Mexico City. Okay, I've got some friends that are in some very swampy territory. It stays wet year round where they are. Well, it doesn't get any wetter than if you lived on a lake. A lot of people know it's like Mexico, all right? Mexico City, the capital. The capital of Mexico is Mexico City. If I'm remembering my geography right, Mexico City sits in the middle of a gigantic crater. And at one time, that crater was filled with water. It was a lake. And the indigenous people down there, those folks, they came up with what they call Chinampas. And these are actually floating islands that they grow on, and they're still doing it. But as they are reclaiming land for other uses there in Mexico City more and more, those Chinampas and the watery parts are going away. They're kind of getting to be an endangered species down there. But if I remember the story right, most of Mexico City was like that. Massive city in the ancient times that was built basically in the water. But they grew on top of floating islands that they made out of their native vegetation and trees that would tolerate it, and built it up a little at a time. That's gardening on top of water. If you can do that, you can certainly grow some food in your backyard. And you know, some of the things that I'm going to show you in my channel are going to be unusual ways to do that, and using nature to help me do it. This right here, this I'm not going to dig up, I don't think. I am going to deny it photosynthesis. Chop and drop. Just chop it and lay it right there. Look, I got a red one. I got a red one right there. Yeah, let me see about eating that. Let me just see about that right now. Let me tell you how good this is. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Here's evidence. Grazing like a bear. Heirloom strawberries. Open pollinated. These seeds, whatever seeds I've left there, are going to come back out and make a new one somewhere. I should have threw it in the bed. Anyhow, thank y'all for sticking around here. Listen to me ramble a little bit and talk about contours and rainwater and hugelkultur. From here in Alabama, I appreciate y'all being here, and thank you very much for watching. And I hope y'all have a great day and stay safe. See you next time. Just one more thing. I've got to plant every day. Now, I might be cheating a little bit because I'm going to transplant today. I'm going to get that done. This is one of my strawberries that came up wild, way far away from where they're planted. He's fixing to go in the ground somewhere else. This one and this little one right here that y'all, I don't know that you can see it or not. Fix to put that in the ground. Yeah, that one more thing. The strawberries over there, I actually found 5 of them. 5 started up from a bird, an old man, or a couple of boys threw something out there. Whenever they were done, these little strawberries took off right where they were. This is back here where I had these laid out before, and I shipped all of these out. Arkansas Woodcutter, Pat G. Smith, and Timbo. Y'all have got my strawberries down there. Let me know how they're doing. Y'all watch out for them, because they're going to go crazy on you. These are wonderful. Hashtag plant every day. Accomplished today. I've only missed one day. We got it done. We'll see you tomorrow.